Hello, everyone. Hello, Genevieve. This video is for all mid-level working professionals who want to advance in their career, add value to their organization, and expand their network. So today we get to speak with Genevieve Miller. Good to see you.
It's great to see you.
Genevieve is very busy. She is Associate Program Director on the Safety Net team at Code for America. Can you share a little bit more about that and your career journey for us, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the first thing I'll say is that I was actually studying to be a veterinarian for most of my time at Notre Dame. And then the summer before my senior year, I did the summer service learning program, which some might be familiar with. And then I came back in the fall with a completely different career plan that ended up taking a lot of twists and turns. I became passionate about human-centered design through the STEAM master's program at Notre Dame. And then I pursued a Fulbright scholarship in Italy that will always be one of the greatest gifts of my life. And then I returned to South Bend, Indiana, which was absolutely never the plan. But I looked around the city during grad school and just saw a lot of young people working to make their community better. And they made space for me at the table, even when I wasn't sure I had anything to give. And so most of my career thus far has ended up being in or adjacent to the public sector. I worked for the city of South Bend in multiple roles, ultimately serving as Deputy Chief of Staff to Mayor Pete. And in that role, I saw firsthand the incredible impact that government services can have at scale for people's daily lives. And at the same time, I also learned that this impact isn't possible or equitable without a ton of care and attention to the delivery of services beyond the policy itself. So after Pete left office, I had a brief stint in state level advocacy, but I was really longing to be closer to the public sector and to just dig further into what it looks like to deliver government services well. So that's when I heard about Code for America.
That's wonderful. Well, first of all, thank you for all you do. And I think it's wonderful that we get a chance to talk to you today because, of course, Irish Compass is such a great place to connect with people like you. So can you share how Irish Compass helped you connect with fellow Notre Dame and alumni and leaders?
It's a great question. I've actually mostly used Irish Compass, I think especially early on, to connect with current students. I've had quite a few students reach out to me over the years to just sort of ask about my career journey and just get some advice about their own next steps. And I've really loved every one of those conversations because I so vividly remember being in that place of wondering where I would end up after graduation and what it would take to get there. And so I really try to take any chance I can get to help that feel a little less daunting for someone else. But that being said, I think this has really inspired me to be more proactive about connecting with other alums. I've been reflecting on the fact that there are so many Notre Dame graduates doing similar work to my own who I could both learn from and I think also just find solidarity with. And Irish Compass is just a really wonderful way to find that connection.
What advice would you give then to fellow Notre Dame alumni who are looking to enhance their leadership skills and expand their professional influence?
I think I would say to reach for something that scares you a little bit. When I was stepping into my role as Mayor Pete's Deputy Chief of Staff, I was still pretty early in my career and I had so many questions, the biggest of which was, can I do this? And I remember telling my husband the night before my first day that I was afraid of failing. And he said, it's good to be a little bit afraid because that means you're going to grow a ton. And so I really held those words close throughout my time in the mayor's office. And ever since then, I've always sort of used stepping outside of my comfort zone as a compass because I know that that discomfort will really bring so much growth and I'll have my hands on something really meaningful.
Well said. Well, you mentioned Code for America. I was hoping that you could share a little bit more with us about that.
We're really working to use technology to help government work better for people. So we're doing that by working shoulder to shoulder with government partners. We're both creating tools, so the things I mentioned, like systems to send text reminders to folks or a much simpler, more human-centered forms on websites. And we do this ultimately because we believe that this leads to government that can treat everyone with dignity and respect. So there's lots of spaces that we work with our government partners, and the safety net is kind of our largest team. And so those are things like healthcare and food benefits. But we also have folks who are working in the tax space and in criminal record clearance as well. And so you can see here, this is just on our website on cookforamerica.org.
I see you right there in the middle.
Oh, yes, yes. So that's actually, I got to work with the state of Connecticut, and we were sending text messages to folks, reminding them about renewing their critical benefits or just sharing other important information with them.
Amazing.
And so, go ahead.
That's great. So this is the fun part, the lightning round part, real quick. What is your favorite place on campus?
I think my heart will always be at the lakes. I just have so many memories of going for runs and walks there as a student, kind of thinking about some big questions or just enjoying the view. And it's now one of my favorite places to take my two little girls for a walk, where we inevitably stop about 30 times along the way to grab some rocks or bugs that we might find, but always a favorite spot.
What is your favorite book or podcast?
I think a book that I've read recently called I Never Thought of It That Way by Monica Guzman. It's just one of those books that really sticks with you long after you read it. The tagline is how to have fearlessly curious conversations in dangerously divided times. And I've really been holding her words close these days as I'm seeking more of my own I never thought of it that way moments.
And what is your favorite Notre Dame memory?
That is a really tough question. I think the one that immediately comes to mind is when the football team qualified for the national championship. I was a sophomore at the time, and I just remember everyone was huddled up in dorm rooms watching the away game. And so you could kind of hear the quiet and then the cheering when something would happen. And then when we won, you could just hear people yelling and running from all corners of campus to get to the Stonehenge fountain, where hundreds of us ended up gathering and celebrating late at night. And it was just the most fun.
That is fun. Well, Genevieve, I am so grateful for your time today. I do want to remind everybody watching that you can connect with other wonderful alumni like Genevieve. All you need to do is head to irishcompass.nd.edu to learn more about how the platform can help you throughout your professional journey and to stay connected with the Notre Dame community. Again, please visit irishcompass.nd.edu. Thank you for watching. And Genevieve, thank you for all you're doing. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.